material. Comedy often makes us laugh because they make us see the world as it really is. It also makes us see the world as we'd like it to be. These types of comedy can highlight hypocrisy. They're a form of escapism as well. They make us happy. They're intelligent. They're honest. Up to a point, they can be honest. But you can play with that. And they form a connection. The main thing about comedy is, for me anyway, most importantly, comedy works due to something called set and setting. Now, set is the mindset that the individual brings to the comedy experience. The setting itself is the environment of that experience. It's a form of call and response. You offer something out and you get something back. It's not foolproof, because we've all seen comedians die on stage, so it's not 100% foolproof. Now, you're more likely to enjoy a comedy experience if you know what you're going to get, if you know what to expect. Now that might seem a bit obvious, but being conscious of the fact that you're in a comedy experience, it's got a number of advantages, and the main one is the audience has an expectation. And you, as a comedy writer, have to fulfill that expectation. You have to ask yourself, what would make you laugh as a writer, as a viewer, as a listener? What level of quality would you expect? Because there's no point in writing something of a quality that you wouldn't accept to receive yourself. Write how you'd like to be written for. So, these types of comedy that we've talked about here in this flip chart, what tools do they use? There's almost an unlimited number of tools that comedy writers use, and that these comedy situations employ. Window cleaner.
You play it.
No. Not yet. Not yet. Yeah. There won't be any clean jokes today. One of the tools that I like to use, and a lot of comedy writers like to use it as well, and it's something that you'll recognise quite easily, is juxtaposition. The juxtaposition is the coming together of two or more seemingly unrelated things. And the higher the unexpectedness of that coming together, the funnier the content should be, in theory. So it works really well with the fish out of water scenario. The example that I've got here is, if you remember, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, where you're taking the streetwise kid from Philadelphia and you're putting him into a Los Angeles environment with his rich uncle. So you're going to get conflict there, you're going to get juxtaposition, and you're going to ultimately get comedy. Similarly, going further back, you've got Mork and Mindy. Who remembers Mork and Mindy?
Yes.
Yeah? Alien lands on Earth, has to adapt to a new form of life. So that's a perfect example of a fish out of water and juxtapositional material. It also works well in more surreal examples, where you might not necessarily put two things together. So an example that I like from Fry and Laurie, I don't know if any of you have seen this.
Yes.
Fry and Laurie fans in the audience?
Yeah.
Andy, good, excellent. We've got this one, I'll just play very, very quick. I hope everybody can hear it okay. It's very short.
I'm sorry, I do not speak English.
So that's juxtaposition. You've got a familiar context but a different piece of content within it. Reversal of expectation is another really good tool to use. Now, what I mean by that is, it's like a comedic sleight of hand. You suspect this, but I offer you that. So it's similar to juxtaposition, but it's more crafted out of a series of events. It's less surreal and more based on reality. Now I'm going to put two back-to-back sketches here from the Fast Show. Anybody fans of the Fast Show? Yeah. Okay. So from these two sketches you should see how the punchline and the events that lead up to that are slightly different from what you would expect. So if you're competing with others to get sketches chosen, which tends to be the normal state of affairs if you're going to start off writing comedy, because you want to get your material into shows, whether it's stage shows, radio shows, TV shows, and ultimately you're going to be up against competition. So you need to do everything you can to make your material stand out. And that starts with a title. Now, if you're going to call a sketch something like the cafe sketch, for example, it's not really going to stand out. It's not going to make someone put that to the top of the pile and think, I really want to read this. And if you're writing topical comedy, for example, if you write a sketch that's heavy, Tory party sketch, then again that's going to get lost. So what I would advise is that you think about your title. You don't need to be too on the nose about it. Write something that the reader is going to be intrigued by. So I'm thinking of things like, if you're writing topics, the main topic at the moment, it's in the Gorden as well, is Brexit. So if you're going to write a sketch about Brexit, give it a really interesting title. And Brexit itself is ideal for puns. You've got Brexit at Tiffany's, Brexit of Champions, Bed and Brexit.
Brexit of prison.
That's good, yeah.
What's that?
Yeah. So what I would say is be bold with your titles. You can use swear words if you want, or you can use swear words that have asterisks in them. You can use exclamation marks. You can maybe have a longer than usual title. That's always guaranteed to stand out. And that itself could be funny if it's a very, very long title. And you can use puns. What I wouldn't say that you can use is don't try and make it stand out visually. Don't use any fancy type fonts or make the size of the letters bigger. Because the important thing is it's the content of the words that are important, not the way they're presented. What we then do is set the scene, introduce the theme with an opening gag. Now, if you can do that, that's great. The slight downside to that is it then adds pressure on you to then keep that going, keep that momentum going, because you don't want to fly after your opening gag. But to set the scene and the theme with a gag right at the very start is a great way to get a sketch working. I did a sketch once about a news anchor, and it started off with the line, and we'll bring you more about that story about the Dundee man who thinks it's a photograph as it develops. So, I know, I apologise for that. So you're getting into the theme of it as well, and you've set the scene with an opening gag. But once you've done that, once you've got your opening gag, you do want to bring the audience into your world very, very quickly, but you don't want to let them go, you want to keep them going. So to keep that interest going is you have to have consistency within your humour. So keeping the comedy flowing throughout your sketch is essential. It's about pacing. It's no use starting a sketch with a great gag and then leaving it until a couple of minutes later when you bring in another gag. You've got to keep the comedy going. So keep the sketch peppered with various types of comedy, and you'll be able to take the audience wherever you want. Sometimes I like to think of a sketch as a wave, and the audience are surfing that wave. So you've got that power as a comedy writer to do that. You can lift the audience up, and you can lift the audience down again. But the main important things are that you do keep the audience involved in your sketch. Keep them invested in it, so they do want to know what's going to happen next. And keep them laughing. The minute that stops, you've lost them, the sketch is gone.